Without further ado, let us start. Our first guest is blockchain investor and evangelist, serial entrepreneur, works with Polish blockchain founders as a strategic advisor, helping them with seed funding, growth hacking, and product development. Collaborates with VC funds across the world, sharing deal flow and investment insights. Please welcome Tom Kopera.
All right, good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure for me. It's an honor to open, actually, this wonderful event of Cryptocurrency World Expo 2022. I think for a start, I would like to propose kind of a warm-up exercise. I bet you already had your coffee, morning coffee, and now it's the time for the morning routine, okay? So let's start again with expressing our really huge gratitude towards the organizers, towards David, Luke, and the whole team. They did an amazing job just bringing us all together and creating an opportunity to meet, to network, and to have fun, to get inspired, to educate. I think they deserve a big round of applause. Come on, everyone. Thank you so much again. Physical exercise checked. Now let's move more to the mental exercise. Imagine that you're not sitting in the cinema, but in the room, in the class actually, back then in high school, on the history classes. And you're learning about the Roman Empire and how they lived, how they performed, how they evolved. I don't know about yourself, but me, I was always thinking, scrolling the history book, like what current events that are not there yet in the book are going to be there in an updated version in a year or two or three. And if I were to ask you, most likely you would say, I don't know, COVID. Maybe it's already there even in the book. My kids are not still in the school age, so frankly speaking, I don't know. Unfortunately, what's happening in Ukraine is going to be definitely described. But let me refocus your attention for a while on something that we call industrial revolutions. We already experienced and accomplished 3 of them. First one, it started 1784. It's all about mechanical production. It's all about steam power and the railroads. And then we moved to the second industrial revolution, started 1870. It's all about mass production, electricity, and assembly lines. Then we have third one, started with the computers and electronics and automated production. And now we do experience the fourth industrial revolution. And they say it's all about the AI, it's all about the big data, it's all about robotics. I personally believe that there is a technology that is way more impactful and powerful. And it is going to be described in the history books in a few years as the stepping stone of the fourth industrial revolution. And yes, I am talking about blockchain. So, there are 2 theses behind my belief about the blockchain. First is that blockchain is actually upgrading the internet to the use case of store of value. Does that mean that internet is not, it's switched off? Okay, sorry. Does that mean that the internet is not storing a value now? It is. The data that is being processed is absolutely valuable. However, if I were to ask you, I don't know, 20 years ago, with the knowledge that you do have now, would you invest in the internet if it were an investable project? Most likely, most of you blindly would say yes. And then there is the follow-up question. What's the valuation of the internet? What's the fully diluted valuation or market cap of the internet, if you like? It's a hard question. But with blockchain, that upgrades the internet to the use case of a store of value with the network effect and the Metcalfe's law, there is a possibility that in a few years, internet will have some sort of valuation based on the value that is stored there, permissionlessly and trustlessly. Then thesis number 2 is that at some point in the future, a vast majority of transactions are going to be processed and settled on blockchain. We all know that the blockchain is designed to settle transactions. And I'm not only speaking about the financial transactions, absolutely not. The transaction is something more generic. It's exchange of the information between two parties. It's not going to happen tomorrow, or in a week, or a month, or year, but eventually, I believe it's going to happen. Even more importantly, my deep belief that the blockchain is an ignition for the fourth revolution is because it's not only a technology. What I observe is that blockchain is an expression of the shift of the paradigm of need for the modern society to decentralize, for more transparency, for impact, for taking part in the governance process. It's way more than the technology. Think about it. Most likely, everyone already seen that chart. It's comparing the adoption of the internet versus cryptocurrencies. For short, being now in crypto, 2022, is like being in the internet, 1998, right? So now I can say this famous sentence that we all know from the crypto Twitter. We are still early. If we are early and blockchain is a backbone of the fourth industrial revolution, that means that we all here during this event, in that very particular room, are the leaders of that revolution. We are early in the huge, huge trend. And as with every big trend, with all these revolutions that historically happened, there are absolutely huge benefits upcoming. And I'm talking about, also financial benefits. But even more importantly, there is also a huge responsibility. What kind of responsibility? If we are the leaders of that revolution, that means that those who are going to follow us, they will need help, education. They will need bridge between where they are with their paradigm, the current one, to the new future, to the new perspectives. And that's our role. That's our responsibility. As Master Yoda says, with great power, it comes great responsibility. All right, let me share you a bit of my story. It all started not that long time ago, I think 2 years ago, with crypto investments, or I should call it trading. Most likely it's the similar story that I share with many of you. I earned a lot of money, then I lost a shitloads of money. Yeah, I almost kind of now hear your thoughts. Oh, I've been there, I've done that, similar, bro, you're not alone. Yeah, that's the case. And then I moved to learn more about the technology, what sort of problem it solves, why these problems are important, how are they solved. And then it got me to the project that is called Thorchain. I started to collaborate with Thorchain project. Back then, it was one of the most complex protocols. From that community that attracted gigabrains, there was a group that was formulated called Chi Capital. Till today, I don't know why they invited me to that group, but I'm very thankful for that. It's a group of 40 people from really literally all over the world, like from US, Asia, Australia, Europe, obviously too. We have a member from El Salvador as well. And at the beginning, they just exchange insights about the market, about the projects. And then we started to slowly formulate a kind of syndicate that invests on the seed and private sales for the projects. At the beginning, it was mainly focused around Torchain. Then we moved to Terra ecosystem. Most likely you know Terra because of famous projects that are launched on Terra from Poland, like StarTerra, Luard, and many others. And the most added value of these investments, on the top of financial returns, there was a huge chance to meet many founders that you are most likely reading about on crypto Twitter. Speak to them, get to know them, understand their pains, and then also meeting a lot of VCs. As you may know, Terra is highly backed up by venture capitals. So I had a unique chance to invest alongside folks like Coinbase Ventures, Hashed, Delphi Digital, Doc One himself as well. And I met some of these guys. Am I saying that to show off? Nope, absolutely not. There is a very particular reason why I'm mentioning that. And I'm going to look back to that in a few next slides. And then there came a time that I started to make research here in Poland. What's happening? What's the blockchain scene? What's going on here? I'm going to share with you some of my findings. First, we do have capable founders, that's for sure. Like many ideas, committed founders, gigabrains, really. They're passionate about what they do. Then we have lots of developers. I always make fun that every country is having something that they're famous for. Like, Switzerland is famous for cheese, like Belgium is famous for chocolate. And I think and I believe that Poland is famous for great developers. And that's what I hear out there when I speak to the VCs in Asia and projects in US as well. So we do have many developers that they want to transition to blockchain technology. In the same time, many of the projects are being built in isolation. So founders are basically focused on delivering against the roadmap, fundraising, about their own projects instead of collaborating. Because of the speed of development, and usually relatively young age, many of the projects are unprofessionally managed. I'm not saying that to insult anyone. I'm just saying that there is room for improvement, room for help and support. And then last but not least, there is lack of local capital. I don't know, I just spotted that, and it was kind of confirmed by my friends here. The local capital is not willing to invest for many reasons. Some reasons, lack of education. Other reasons, lack of metrics, how to evaluate, how to assess the investments. They do have it for software as a service, but they don't for blockchain projects. So at some point, I needed to make a decision how to react to that observations. So either to twist around and continue doing what I've been doing for last months, or see it as opportunity and kind of act upon it. So I decided to step up, and that's how Blockchain Ventures Hub came into fruition. What exactly is Blockchain Ventures Hub? So it's a space, it's an ecosystem that facilitates the collaboration between founders, venture capitals, blockchain experts, and developers in a more tangible way. We facilitate the networking activities, connecting people that need something with the ones that can provide it. It's all about helping with the fundraising. And that's the very moment that I link it the few slides before. We leverage the network that I managed to build to help founders from Poland to raise across the board. I mean, in US, in Asia, and with all the funds that I had a chance to work with before. I think within the last month, we raised like $500,000 for one of the projects that you most likely even haven't heard about yet from Poland, but you're going to hear about it more in upcoming months, I'm pretty sure of it. On the roadmap, we do have a Developers Academy, a space to onboard new developers to blockchain environment and then link them to the projects that really need it. I received tons of requests, like, Tom, bring me developers from Poland, please. Then charity. We speak about charity collaboration with the charities that are actually using blockchain to support the charity causes, and legal advisory. Dorota, who will be speaking today from 3 Dots, she's helping founders that we collaborate with on the legal side. Then the incubation and also a lot of consulting that economics, consulting go-to-market strategy, consulting how to fundraise, how to prepare for that process. And again, last but not least, the events. This year, we're going to organize workshops, speed dating with the investors, meetups, blockchain dinners, and these types of the formats. But the big question in the end is always, why? The vision behind it is that together we may make Poland the hub of Europe. Let that sink in. We can make Poland the hub of Europe. Even though we haven't started, officially kicked off the whole initiative yet, till now, till today, I got a really huge response to that. People that you most likely also know from different activities here in Poland, they responded in a very positive way, wanted to commit, wanted to support, wanted to contribute somehow. So, if by any chance, during my presentation, you had this gut feeling somewhere here, or here, or here, that you would like to contribute, somehow join us, collaborate, support that vision, this big vision that we do have. Feel free to reach out. Send a direct message to me. Here are the details. And we can start the conversation, how to connect the dots together. In the end, I wanted to wish everyone a wonderful and productive 2 days. Reach out to each other, make new connections, get some deals done today, tomorrow. Share and collaborate. Thank you very much.